LIKNS, it's Kelly here with Kelly Crafts It All. It's been a hot moment since I've posted anything. Yeah. I had some major life changes. Well, not major, but, you know, I had to go back to work. So, I did go back to work as doing my old job, is doing security. So, the first few weeks were kind of hectic because you had to go to school and had to go, you know, take tests and learn things, and driving back and forth. Everything from me is like an hour away, so I have to drive an hour to and an hour from, and they're 8-hour classes. And so the first couple weeks were kind of hectic, and now that I'm all through that and I've got everything down, and I know I work Monday through Friday. I work third shift, so I work 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. You know, maybe I can get a little more of a schedule going to do tutorials or whatnot. Just really, I haven't found anything. I haven't really had time to even really look. But, I got onto YouTube today, and I thought, or I seen where Maymay made it, had this little album, and it's called a Matchbook album. And it looks like this, and it was the cutest thinking thing, and I loved it. But she did hers from a kit from Photoplay, and it was a 4x6. This is a 5x7, and this is not a kit. This is, I'm making it as the kit was. But, you know, what if I wanted it right now. I have a swap coming up, and I really wanted to use this in a swap, and I thought, this is really cute, and it just opens like a matchbook, and then it has these little kind of like little envelopes in here, and then it will fit a little insert, you know. Don't mind these ones, these are going to be for our tutorial here. And then you put those in there. Now this one is a bit too big for this because this was a prototype, but you know, it still works. But and, you know, and you do that, and you put each one of them in there, and then they can put pictures out here, they can put pictures here, and then like this one, I printed this out on you know, like Microsoft Word, or if you have Cricut, you could do it that way, and just so they could journal. And then I just left this blank so they could even put a photo on here. So this is what we're going to work on today. And like I said, this is not my idea. This is well, actually it's a photoplay, but Maymay made it, had done it with the photoplay kit. So yeah, I had done this tutorial once already, got all the way, started going through it, and found out we need to put this together before we decorate it. So yeah, we're gonna kind of repeat this one. So this is the 5x7. So let's get started. What will you need? You are going to need, we're going to need 5 pieces of cardstock. Now I'm using the 110-pound cardstock. You can use whatever you want, whatever you like, whatever colors you want. You don't have to do it by what I am doing. But you'll need 5 of these. And we're going to cut those at 10.5 by 7.5, and you'll need 5. We're going to lay this in our scoreboard on the 10.5 inch side, and we are going to score at 1/2 inch and at 5.5. Now I'm going to rotate mine this way so that my tab is on the top. You need to make sure you keep them in order with like the tab on the top or bottom. However you rotate your paper, do it to the other 4 so that they match up, because you need this extra tab over here, and that's why you need to have it in order. So flip them all the same way. So we did it this way, and I'm going to rotate mine to my right and make my tab at the top. And then you're just going to score it 1/2 inch on the 7.5 inch side, and that's all there is to scoring. And you do that to your other 4, and then we're just going to do a little cutting. And I have already cut mine, but yeah, you'll see where you'll have like a little X right here. It'll have a little square, and I just angle cut into that, and then I just angle cut the end off, and then the end off here on this, on that 1/2 inch tab. Okay, or you can even just kind of snip that straight across if you'd like. So you'll have 5 of those, and then I'm gonna take mine and I'm gonna fold it in half on that center score line. Finish that down, and right where that fold is, right here, I'm just gonna nip out a tiny little triangle, just a little sliver like that. So you should have something that looks like this. You're gonna fold up that 1/2 inch tab and the 1/2 inch tab on the side. On your off, on this left hand side, don't do anything with that tab, leave that one alone. And you can burnish them down. I'm going to use some wet glue on mine. You can use double-sided tape, you know, whatever you like. I'm just going to fold this over, making sure that all my tabs are up in there. I'm going to give that a burnish. I'm just going to trim that a little bit more even. It doesn't matter, you're not going to see it, you're going to cover this up. So that tab here that we have left will be folded to the top. I guess we'll cut that, score it even, but it'll be alright. You won't really see it anyway. It's all going to get covered up. So, you know, like I said, you're going to do that to all of them. So all my tabs are on the right hand side. So I'm going to go put mine together, and I'll meet you back here. Alright, I've got all 5 of mine done and ready to go. And I guess I didn't get enough glue here. I'm sorry if you hear the fan in the background. I tried recording without it, and it's not really that warm here in Arkansas today. I don't know what the temperature is, but it's warm in here, and if I shut that fan off, I can't hardly function. So, there we go. Alright. Guess I should have checked all them before I got started. Okay, so we have all 5 of those. You're also going to need a 1 1/4 inch circle punch. Well, mine's 1 3/4. I'm sorry. They use, I think, 1 inch. It doesn't really matter, whatever size, you know, suits your fancy of circle punch that you're using. And what I like to do is lay mine on my scoreboard and find the center, which is at 2 1/2. And then I'm just going to measure down, like I just turn it here, and I'm just going to measure down 1/2 inch. And I know that's like 1, 2, 3, about the 4th line, so I'm going to mark that. I'm going to find something, straight edge, piece of paper, or ruler. This doesn't have to be exact. And I'm just going to do this. I'll just put a little line here in the center, so I know that's how far down I want to go. And once you get one done, you can use it as a template for your other ones. I've marked my circle punch for various things. I marked the 1/2 inch here, or halfway mark, and the halfway mark, and then I was doing something else and I put little pencil marks there, and you know, to help me. But I'm just going to line that up and eyeball it, or you know, try to get it as center as you can, and I'm going to go down to that pencil mark. I'm going to punch that out like so. Well, once I have one done, I can use it as a template. So I can go in here now and erase those. So you're just gonna go through them, and I just, you know, because this is gonna be where this flap is pushed up, this is gonna be the top of your page. I'll just line mine up like that, and you just get your punch in. Line it up and do it that way, or if you want to take it, you know, do each one, and if you're scared to do it that way, you could take and trace it like that, and do it that way as well. So, however you want to get your little notch in there, it's up to you. I like to just do it this way. So there, you should have 5 of those with your little cutouts or hole punches, like so. And now we're gonna glue these together, because this is where I made my mistake on the other one. I thought, well, I'll just decorate my pages up and then put these together. Let's not do that. Let's put it together first. This last page, you do not have to decorate this last page, because this is going to get glued in the back. That was another thing I had done. I had decorated all the pages and realized, you know, I've wasted paper, because you're not going to see that. So what we're going to do is, with them flaps that are flipped up, push it back down on that pocket and run your glue on it. Get the next one, making sure that flap is up. And I'm just going to line mine up as best as I can. It's easier sometimes if you just kind of stick them like this and line them up. And we're going to make sure that flap is folded up. Do some more glue and get the next one. Do the same thing. Okay, make sure that flap is up. Get the next one. Sure your flap is up. Mark this last one on. Now if you want to, you know, get a binder clip or something to hold them until they dry, you can. And then you want to make sure they're fanning out. You don't have any glue oozing all over, sticking your pages. And you don't have anything lifting. So it should just kind of fan out like this, with that flap up and nothing on the back. So this is our top. This is how it's going to go in the book. It has to go in the book this way in order to work. So I will make a T on there to remind myself that's how it goes. I'm going to set that aside, and now we're going to work on the cover part. And on the cover part, you're going to need a 5 by 9.5 inch piece of cardstock and a piece that measures 5 by 7. And on our 9.5 by 5, we are going to measure, or we're going to score on this thing here. And we're going to lay this on the 9.5 inch side. We're going to score it at 1/2 inch. We're going to score at 7 1/2 and at 8. And then we're going to get that 5x7 piece. We're going to lay this in the scoreboard on the 7-inch side and score at 1/2 inch. And that's all the scoring for that. So on this one, we're just going to go ahead and fold and burnish all of our score lines. And this one should look like that. And then this is that 5x7. I'm just going to burnish that. And this is going to be the front of our cover. So I'm going to lay my front going this way so that I don't have that. If I lay it this way, I have that cut edge and it kind of looks sloppy. So I'm going to put mine this way. I'm just going to run some glue along that top. Just like that. And then I'm going to lay this one on. Sure I've got everything even. And we're just going to push it up to that score line. Don't go over it. And you can just fold it down. And that is our cover. So that's going to be like that. And it's going to hold our pages in. Just like this. You might want to test it, make sure you're fitting before you commit to decorating everything. Mine fits just fine. So now we can either you can put this on your thing already if you would like, or at this point you could decorate your pages safely without messing anything up. So I'm going to go ahead and decorate my pages, and I've got some paper cut out here, printed out. This is the Hungry JPEG. It's called, I think it's just called Bumblebee paper. I'll link everything down below. Always check my description box and click the little arrow down and check everything, because usually if I have anything I think you would want or that I'm using and think you might want to use it, I will put the links down there if I have a link. If not, I will try to point you in the right direction as best as I can to the products that I am using. Okay, so I have 5 different sheets. Now I printed mine, like I said, and I printed front and back because I can get 2 cuts from one sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper. So, and I'll show you what I do, and then I'll pause and decorate. So it's up to you, however you want to figure out your size. Okay, we know that this is 5 inches across, so a lot of people will take just a 1/4 inch off and go 6 or 6.7, which is 6 3/4 of an inch. I'm so used to using decimal, I can't think. Now I don't like to do that. I like to lay mine in here and eyeball it. So let's see what I have. Just eyeballing it. Did I get? Yep, that's about what I got. It's 4 3/4. So I'm gonna cut that at 4 3/4. So we have 4 3/4 by, and this should be probably 6 3/4, I would say. And I'm just looking for that fold mark. So if I put this at 6 3/4, yep, and spot on. So mine is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4 for my designer series paper. Okay, set that aside. So then you're wondering, how in the world are we going to get that punch in there? we should have decorated before we put the punch in. You can do all this before the punch and put your paper on and then punch them if you would like. That's totally up to you. But, or you don't have to, like, Maymay, she just cut hers to where it ended right there before her, thing. So you just cut it from, you know, here to wherever you want it to end. She did hers like this. Now, I wasn't fond of that look, so I went this route. And what I do is I get my designer series paper in one of my pockets, and I lay this, and I just make sure I'm gonna make it even with the top, but making sure my side to side is exactly where I want it when I glue it down. So I'm gonna make sure my from side to side is even. And I'm going to line it with the very top. The top edges are aligned. Because once you chop, you hit it with that puncher, that's how you're going to have to lay it. So this is, to me, is about the most fiddliest part of the whole project, is trying to get that paper lined up. Alright, I'm liking that. So what I do is I'm going to bring this down, and I'm going to flatten it. I get my pencil. I hope that's in frame and y'all can see it. And I'm going to just trace with my pencil. I'm going to push that back up. And I'm going to get my punch, and I'm going to put it on that pencil line. Like so. And I'm going to bring it over here so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, I've got it just on that pencil line. And then I'm going to punch it out. And then I'm going to flip this, and I'm going to fit it one more time. Let's see here. See if I have a piece of black cardstock, that way you can see better. Okay, so this is our flap, and actually it's kind of helpful. And then I'm just going to dry fit it so that now that punch gives you a little border. Okay, so that's how you're going to do that, and you're going to do that to your fronts and your back as well. Like, I have this piece, so I'll just recut it, and then I'll, you know, cut it to fit this, and then I'll do the same thing and just flip it this way and then trace that way. I've tried putting them together, and I have no success with that, so that's how I'm going to do mine. So once I get these all cut, if you would like, you can, because you have to make sure your top is your top and the back is the back. There's no flipping it around. So you want to make sure that when you do these, like I'll even mark this as number 1, and that's number 1. And then when I cut the back, I'll put on here like this is number 1B for back. Okay, and then this will be page number 2, vice versa, and so on and so on. So and then you're just going to glue those on. So once I get mine cut and glued, I'll meet you back here. Okay friends, I've got mine all decorated and done. So you should have your 5 pockets all decorated, and this last back part I wrote on mine for my own sake was to leave the leave this blank. This is the back, so that I'm not wasting paper. So we are all done with that, and now we have our cover here and our pages. So like I said, this is going to go on the back. Now you do see this little piece, like when you put this in here, you know, that this matches up and you don't really see it. So this top part is where, you know, I would put some decorative paper, you know, like I've got a bunch of little scraps from cutting my paper. So I might just, you know, lay a little scrap right there. cut it to fit, of course, and then see. That's all all you'll need is just that little tiny piece. And then you can decorate your fronts and your backs however you would like to do yours. Me, I just kind of do the same as I've always done. Just lay it in here and decide how big of a border I would like for mine. Just do a little tip marking. Put this on my trimmer. Trim that out. Then on the line there, so see, like I have this piece here that would probably, see how it fits in there real nice. So I might just go ahead and use that scrap for the back, or I could flip it over and use this side. So I'm going to hold on to that scrap piece and use that for my back page. So this is my front. And if I measure this, this is measuring, it's about 4 7/8 by about 6 1/4-ish, a little bit more. It's up to you however you want to do yours. So I have that, and then I have this back here, so I'm going to use that as the inside cover. And I'm just going to trace and use it as a template. Just like that. So I know this is my back, this is my front. And this is going to go in the back. I think I'm going to use that side now and use this side. I don't know, we'll get there. And then we'll need a small piece for your front. So once again, you know, I have some scrap pieces I can use that I had from other ones that I had cut. It's a little short. These are probably too skinny. Now, I guess I could use one of these. Just like, I'm just going to lay that there. So it's gonna something a little darker to figure out where you're trying to cut. There we go. So I will decorate mine, but I'll probably just fast forward it so that you don't have to painstakingly watch me do all this. Now, if you want to go ahead and do your little top things, you can do that. I think I'd probably cut these like 3/4 of an inch by the length. So that I'll leave that to you. We're not going to go over that. You know how to decorate with some paper. Now you have your book. So let's get our book. And I like to dry fit mine first to make sure. Now you want to stay where that score line is at first one, you want to stay in that score line with your book. So I like to line mine up with that, line my sides up. And I'm going to double check, make sure I'm fitting. And you can get that all situated like that. And then I'm going to lift that up. And we're going to glue this one down. That flap. You're going to take this flap. You're going to put glue on the inside. Burnish that down. Now we got to get the back. So I'm going to glue. You can double side tape, whatever makes you happy. I just like to dry fit so that I know where I'm going with things. You know, I need to go to that score line, and I just keep my fingers kind of on the side. I'm going to push that down. Make sure I have everything all lined up. Add a good press. And now on that flap that we glued down, you're going to run a bead of glue on that, or some glue, whatever. I like to smush mine out so it don't ooze so much, because I don't want it all over my paper. I don't want it to ooze up real far. Now I'm going to push that quite tight. Now you do not put any glue in here, just on there. I'll just give that a minute to dry. I can even take my paper punch and just set it on there and let that sit and dry. So we're waiting on that to dry. We'll talk about these inserts. Now I've done white. You can do them in colors. You can do it however you want. And I've just cut mine at 4 3/4 by 7, and I did 5 of them, 1 for each pocket. I did cut some yellow out, and I don't remember what size this was. It was 4.5 by 6 3/4, pretty sure. Yeah, right there, 4.5 by 6 3/4. And so I had 5 of those, and I just glued them like that. And then, like I said, I did these on my Cricut. I don't know if I told you about them or not, but I cut these out on Cricut. I designed them in my Cricut design space and cut them out. Now you don't have to. You can just use, you know, maybe you have a stamp that has a butterfly or a bee or whatever you're designing yours as. And you can even take a ruler and draw the lines. You don't have to do it at all. Just leave it blank on the back. Maybe just put one little stamp if you have a stamp, or stickers or something you want to put in the corner. So that is that. So we have 4.5 by 6 3/4 for the little mat, and then these are 4 3/4 by 7. Okay, and then all I did, I set that aside. Get one of these here. And this is all I did. And I rounded all my corners. I like the rounded corners for inserts. They just seem to slide in a bit better. Everybody. So you're just going to go ahead and make, 5 of those. And this should be dry by now. Yeah, it's pretty good. So what this does now is it flips up like this, and each one gets a, well, mine was apparently not, so I'm going to use a little double-sided tape. Apparently didn't get the glue on there that good, so there we go. Now it'll just opens like this. And then you just take your little inserts I mean, they do go in here, I promise. Mine's a bit of a tight fit. There we go. And if you're kind of like stick your hands down in the little pockets, and I'm just squeezing mine, and it kind of opens that up a bit. And it's like that, and you know, finish the rest of them and put them in there, and now you can flip that down, and that's what holds it closed. You don't need any magnets or Velcro or anything. And I thought this made just a really cute little album. And it, you know, Mother's Day coming up, I mean, give them to your moms or sisters or grandmas, whoever you're going to give to for Mother's Day. And like I said, you could decorate this up on the outside as much as you want. I wouldn't do too much on the inside because you don't have a whole lot of room. But they can still put pictures in there, and you can front and back if you would like, or just on the front. Maybe they want a journal on the back and whatnot. So I just thought they were, it was a real, I loved it. I thought it was a really cute idea. But, you know, make sure you either glue or tape this real good. I have wet glue on top of tape, and that tape's not sticking great. But as you can see in my other ones where I've left them to dry, it's perfectly fine. And you just kind of bend it up and tuck it in there. So yeah, I just didn't give mine time enough to dry. But I'll go back and fix that, because I'm gonna try to use this in a swap, because I really think it's cute. So there you guys go. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll remember to check my description box, because I will link everything that I can find in there. I'll put a link for Maymay Made It, for her store, if you would like to go look at the photoplay. Like I said, their photoplay ones are 4x6. I did mine as a 5x7. You know, you can always, you know, cut it down. You know, you just have to figure out your measurements of 4x6 and go with it. It's not that hard to do. But I thought it was really cute. So, alright guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go finish these up and put them in and go take pictures and get a thumbnail made and get it posted for you. So y'all take care, stay safe out there. Remember, I love each and every one of you. Remember to hit that subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell, and click on all so that you get notifications of my videos, because you never know when I'm going to pop up with a new video. Very sporadic. Alright guys, see you in the next one. Bye-bye.